Okay, and let's go back to our dashboard. So we've looked at some of the item admin views. Collections, I'm not going to take the time to go there because that's pretty straightforward. Users, for example, if I wanted to use this for a class, I could add users of different levels. So I could be, I'm currently considered a super user, which is kind of the top level administrator, but I could add my students in as users at a lower level so that they could add items, they could work on their own exhibits, but they wouldn't necessarily be able to, change major things about the site. Under settings, we'll click here just to see some of the general settings. Here are some of the things that you can control. A lot of this has to do with kind of what appears on your home page, how the layout works, things like that. So lots of things that you do have input, do have control over. Under element sets, I believe in more recent versions of Omeka, you can have other types of element sets other than Dublin Core, for example. For example, CDWA or VRA or something like that. Themes. Here's where it chooses the overall look of the site. So with the basic download, you just get 2 choices. You can also download many other choices from Omeka. But again, trying to keep this simple, we just stuck with one of the ones that came readily available. For plugins, here's a list of different plugins that I have installed, or I should say I have downloaded them, but I haven't necessarily installed them. So for example, my coins plugin I have not installed yet. My exhibit builder, however, I have, and you'll see here if I wanted to uninstall it or deactivate it, I could do that. Same thing with simple pages here. That's what I use to create the About page in the public view. And at the bottom you'll see that there's a link to be able to see new plugins, and even kind of some instructions for how to write your own plugins to make some changes. There's also a tab here for users, which we were discussing before. Okay, so now we'll go back to the dashboard. So we talked about our settings, which took us through themes and plugins. Now, you'll also see on the right, it just has some little sections here that give you a really nice overview of your site. It's letting you know how many items you have, how many collections, how many tags, how many users, all of that. Recent items, recent tags. Just a nice, to kind of quickly see what's the latest thing going on with your site. Okay, also good to note that at the bottom here are links to documentation and support forums within Omeka, so that if, while you're doing this, you have any questions about, oh wait, how, I don't remember how I'm supposed to enter this or what this means, you can go right to the documentation and get some help with that. Okay, we'll end this screencast, but we'll do one more after this, which will